I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
How the heck are you? It's the Midday Muscle. Thanks for watching. Well, Men's Physique, heads up. Looks like y'all have some big changes on the horizon for this next season. Late last week, the Pro League officials made an announcement that the division was going to adopt specifications for height and weight, similar to what we saw happen with Classic Physique a few years ago. For the purposes of this conversation, we don't really need to get into the nitty-gritty. But the real takeaway here is the fact that we're going to see a fundamental shift on what men's physique looks like from the bottom up moving forward. As a whole, most people will probably agree that the changes they made to Classic Physique have been a huge boost for the division all the way across the board. So if the same thing can happen here, maybe we can all expect to see a real influx of talent come in and breathe some new life into these competitions over the next few seasons. Now, speaking of breathing life into the division, word has it that Jeremy Buendia is coming back this year. And while that might not exactly fit the bill of ushering in the next generation, it's definitely one of the biggest storylines that we've got going on in men's physique right now. For all intents and purposes, this is the version of Jeremy that men's physique fans thought they were going to see last year when he was flirting with that comeback. And now that he has that championship swagger back to go along with a look that seems like it's going to be very competitive on the Olympia stage, it gives this year's run-up to the title a little bit extra juice that this division didn't have back in 2022. Love him or hate him, you can't deny the fact that Jeremy's one of the few guys in the division who has the ability to move that metaphorical needle and bring in eyeballs. So, if he can actually be a legitimate title contender by the time November rolls around, we could end up seeing one of the most anticipated men's physique battles of all time. Even with those impending rule changes, even with Jeremy making his way back, all that stuff might end up being nothing other than background noise if the reigning and defending Olympia champ Aaron Banks continues to dominate the division with this tear he's been on. You can make a solid argument for Aaron's last 12 to 18 months being the best we've seen from anyone in the history of men's physique, including a few years ago back when Jeremy was at the peak of his powers. The way that Aaron's gone out there and flatlined everyone at both the Arnold and the Olympia really is unlike anything we've seen in recent memory. And if he's just going to continue to be head and shoulders above everyone else, it honestly won't matter what else happens for the rest of 2023. At this point, seeing him cruise to another win on the Olympia stage almost feels like a foregone conclusion. Now I might as well just put a bow on this whole thing and loop Brandon Hendrickson into the mix, because for one reason or another, he's managed to become the forgotten man in this year's championship race. But as objective observers here, the thing that intrigues us most about the whole situation, to use a baseball analogy, why not, is the fact that Brandon never really lost anything off of his fastball. It's just more that everyone's batted through the order a handful of times now that they're prepared for what he brings. Does that make sense? Brandon at his best is still plenty capable of holding his own with anyone on any given night. So if he can come back this year, bring something a little new to the table, something that can actually push a guy like Aaron outside of his comfort zone, then who's to say that this doesn't play the role of spoiler here and actually end up winning the whole damn thing, giving him a fourth title, tying him with Jeremy as the winningest athlete of all time. Look at that, we're at the end of another Midday Muscle. Thank you for your continued watching. RX Muscle, baby. See you tomorrow.